what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 15 brawlers right now in Brawl Stars after the balance changes. So balance changes just literally dropped a few hours ago. I've been grinding, trying to learn the meta as much as possible. Of course, it's literally impossible to know the meta completely within a short space, like literally a few hours. But I think a lot of these brawlers aren't going to be changing too much from the previous meta. A few might surprise me, you know, like the Ali nerfs, and a few might surprise you guys, like the Cordelius buffs, which is actually pretty good, but we'll go into that a little bit later on. So let me know down in the comment section below what videos you want to see on the meta, and without further ado, let's jump into the rankings then. So we're going to be doing every brawler in kind of no particular order until we get to the top 5 later on in the video. So we're going to be starting off with Hank. So Hank received a 7% health nerf, and although it's going to be a little bit easier to take down Hank, it's not going to be like this unformidable monster in competitive play anymore, but he'll still be really annoying. I think he'll still easily be a top 15 brawler in the game. Still, the best thing about him is the healing he gets from his super. He'll still be really good because he can just suffocate players so easily. He's got a big shield with his gadget that can tank so much. His hype charge is still pretty good, and he's just so good into so many different matchups. So Hank will just forever be good until they nerf his healing. Next up on the top 15 list, we have Gus. So Gus received no nerfs, which was a little bit surprising. I think that was probably like 6 or 7 brawlers that did need like emergency addressing with some nerfs. So Gus will automatically just actually get a bit better in the meta now because a lot of his top brawlers got that nerf, but he was always like one of the most picked brawlers when it comes down to competitive play. Gus is so good. What I do recommend doing though, well, not doing, is just picking Gus no matter what. Like I still see people like pick Gus when there's already a mid involved in ranks, for example. Say if your teammates already picked a bow or a bee, don't go Gus, please, and try not go Gus too much in Brawl. Outside of that, Gus is insane. He's very, very versatile, good gem carrier, good in knockout, bounty, can be good in hot zone, and most of the time his hype charge is the reason why he's just came back to the meta. It can deal so much damage, and he's just like a secret sniper assassin. He's just can deal so much damage, and he's so easy to play. Next up on the top 15 list, I went with Bonnie. So Bonnie didn't receive any nerfs with her hyper charge, which I'm a little bit surprised about, but she's starting to go under the radar because in pro play she's been played a fair amount, but the hyper charge itself is just so incredibly strong. It's a guaranteed kill every single time you land on the opponent, as long as you can hit that, of course. Sometimes I do miss that, but it's just so good. You can literally kill everybody. Even with your biggest direct counter has a super, you can probably just melt them before they can even be unstunned. It's absolutely insane. And still, Bonnie's standalone brawler has been quite a bit better since her rework, and just overall, you know, she's got a lot of HP. Her gadget can create a lot of pressure, and she's pretty versatile when she's meta. She can be played everywhere. She's good in highs, just good into like squishier brawlers as well. She can take them down so easily. So I really like Bonnie in its meta, and so did the pros. Next up on the top 15 list, I went with Gray. So Gray has been so good since the gadget rework because he has unlimited walking canes, and they keep nerfing his gadget duration. They didn't actually do it this update, surprisingly, and he's still just top 15 brawler no matter what because he's just so good in combination with so many of the aggressive brawlers in the meta right now. You just take a look at the top 15 list. There's just tank after assassin after just so many brawlers that pair well with Gray, sorry. And you can play Gray in like hot zone, you play Gray in gem grab, and that's when you know he's meta, when he's played a lot in those game modes. But he's one of the best brawlers in knockout and bounty because he can counter throwers with a walking cane gadget. Once he gets his super, he can then counter a lot of the snipers and other brawlers. Just so versatile. So for the top 15 list, we have Lily. So again, I was very surprised Lily didn't receive any nerfs, especially to her hypercharge, because it is completely and utterly busted. Lily has to be one of the best brawlers in the game easily right now. She is the biggest threat and probably the most annoying brawler when it comes down to gem grab, because you just get constant pressure. You're constantly cycling your super, you're constantly spamming your vanish gadgets, so the opponents just don't know where you are, especially if you play it well. Especially on a bushy map, you can easily just create a lot of chaos. You've always got the opponents second guessing, and the biggest thing is that pretty much no mid brawlers. So what I mean by mid brawler is a good gem carrier, you know, like Gus, Jean, 8-bit, etc. Literally none of them can do anything against Lily when she has a hypercharge super, and the hypercharge super never misses. So until they fix that hypercharge super where it's a little bit harder to hit, she's just always going to be one of the best brawlers in the game. 1 versus 1, there's nothing killing her because inside of a shadow realm they can't activate super, they can't activate gadget, and it's just a free kill for her. She literally just deletes people quicker than you can even blink. So yeah, Lily is easily one of the best brawlers. My next brawler in the top 15 is Jae Young. So Jae Young is still just so criminally good right now, and he hasn't got a hypercharge. So when he gets a hypercharge, best believe I'm going to be abusing that brawler. But he's just always going under the radar. He might not be like the flashiest brawler. It may be a bit boring to some people. I mean, I always have fun when I play Jay Young, but you get what I mean. It's a good support brawler. He's never going to be the one to get the most damage in the game, but especially his speed attack. He gets speed with every single piece of ammo, which is just so vital. That can help him offensively, defensively. You know, so for example, if an Edgar jumps on you, maybe you can pop your speed super or just your main attack to help you get away from that assassin that's coming towards you. And then if anyone comes close to you and you've got full ammo, just pop your damage gadget and you can melt them quicker than anything in the world. And he also pierces through opponents. He's got some good range. There's just so much about Jay Young. You can play him everywhere. Make sure you probably pair him with at least a tank counter, and then you're good to go. Next up on the top 15 list, we have Amber, and Amber is just literally the queen of versatility right now in the meta. Although her hypercharge takes a fair bit to get, and mostly you only get it towards the end of the game, and still without her hypercharge, she always was in and around the A tier, right? So yeah, the hypercharge is just a great extension of that, but then also her hypercharge is literally a team wipe button. It's impossible to miss. So by the time, say, like a clutch moment in hot zone, you know, both teams are really close. Well, you have a hypercharge, it's going to change the game completely, and you always get it around the 80% mark in hot zone. So yeah, she's just insanely versatile. What can I not say about Amber? She's good into everything, and that's why she's always good in draft. The pros just love Amber because there's only like a handful of counters out there. So next up on the top 15 list, I went with Shade. So I know Shade received a nerf for the last set of balance changes, but let's not overreact here. It was a really bad nerf. The fact that it only takes an extra 2 shots essentially, not even that, to get your hypercharge. Is that going to do anything? It's not going to do anything because the hypercharge itself is still really strong, and when it's a really broken hypercharge and it's below 3 supers to get, they're still going to be really good in the meta. The thing about Shade is that he's better on the more niche maps, but those maps are starting to become a lot more like, there's a lot more of those Shade maps coming into the rotation is what I'm trying to say. So in turn, he's just getting better and better in the meta. So yeah, you can't just go him everywhere. And there's still also some good Shade counters out there like Hank, Jackie, etc. But if you're playing like Layer Cake, Triple Dribble, a few other maps, you've just got to ban this brawler because he'll just take over and get easy team wipes. So next up on top 15 ranking, we have Lou, and Lou is always a solid brawler in the meta. I'm surprised when I look at other creators' tier lists when they put Lou so low because he's always high in the play rates in terms of pro play. You might not think of Lou as this insane brawler, but he's always one of the best shutdowns. You think of some of the top assassins and tanks in the game right now, who can you really call on to counter them? Well, you've only really got Lou when you think about it. So, you know, think of like Hank, for example, you think of Shade, you think of Draco, etc. You're always going to play a Lou because Lou's super is just so good at just stopping them in the tracks, and you can quickly burst them down with the gadget, with the hypercharge, etc. He's so easy to hit his main attack projectiles now because of the recent reload speed buff. Well, it's not even recent, about 6 months ago, but yeah, ever since that, Lou's just been insane in the meta. He's pretty much usable everywhere. And lastly, for the brawlers outside of the top 5, we have Ali. So Ali received 4 nerfs to her base HP, to her reload speed in both dash and jump form, and she got a nerf to her unload speed. So before, I'm a bit of an idiot for not realizing that she literally had 0 delay, which is the same as like Mortis, Kenji, and other dash brawlers, but now she's got like 100 millisecond delay, so a little bit tougher. I'm unsure on Ali, right? Like, when I read these nerfs, I thought that she would pretty much be killed, but after trying her out a little bit in ladder, she still feels pretty good in 1 versus 1. So again, I'll have to test this out a little bit more. I think the enraged ability where she gets extra reload speed and extra range through this, and then also you get to see opponents in bushes, and then her super deals double the damage, is still making her a good brawler. Still just so much about her. So yeah, I'll test her out a bit more. Maybe these nerfs will catch up to her in the end, but I just still get the sneaky feeling that she'll be a top 15 brawler still. Not as broken as before, but still top 15. Before we jump into the best 5 brawlers in the meta, I'll go through my honorable mentions. I nearly forgot to even mention these. Angelo and Jean, both of these brawlers are really good in drafts and always high in the pick rates when it comes down to the pro monthly finals. We've got Bull and Buster. So Buster's starting to drop down a little bit, but he's still really good in my eyes. Bull as well, really good in gem grab and Brawl. And then we've got Crow and Meeple. So Crow received a HP buff like a month ago, and he's actually pretty good in draft. And then Meeple as well. I think Meeple will be very, very underrated in this meta. They received 3 buffs to the base HP, damage, and reload speed. So I think Meeple will be a top 15 brawler. I'm just a little bit scared on putting them in the ranking just now. But starting off at number 5, moving into the top 5 brawlers, then we had Draco. So Draco received 2 nerfs. I don't think this is really going to do anything to him. So received a nerf to his hypercharge rate from 2.8 supers to get his hypercharge to 4 supers. So sounds pretty big, but when you think about it with Draco, you've got so much going for you. You've got damage reduction when you have a super, you've got the healing when you pop a super, you've got your gadget. So all of these things considered just helps with survivability, and through just pure taking damage, you're able to cycle through hypercharges pretty fast anyways. And then the hypercharge is just still completely broken itself. It doesn't like completely melt everything now, but it still does because of the amount of projectiles it flies out. So yeah, the hypercharge damage nerf didn't really do anything. So yeah, Draco is scary still in my eyes. I still think he has to be a top 5 brawler in the meta. So now moving into the 4th best brawler in the game right now, I went with Charlie. So bizarrely enough, when I put Charlie in my top 15 brawler, like when the balance changes first came out, so many people disagreed with me then. So I was very early on that train, guys. Best believe I've still got it. But then even when I put Charlie in the S tier on my tier list a couple of weeks ago, people were still questioning it. Do you still question the Charlie buff now? Like, do you still think Charlie's not meta? Just take a look at pro play. Take a look at all 4 monthly final and all of the stats on Liquipedia, and you would see that Charlie was always high in ban rate, pick rates. She's just a queen of versatility when it comes down to Brawl Stars and just every single game mode. Like, the range buff always puts Charlie at the top of the meta. It's just insane range. And then when you think of Charlie and her best counters, the only really best counters out there are likes of like Amber, and that's pretty much it, because the Spider's gadget is just so good at eating up ammo. Those single shot brawlers, those snipers, so she's good on longer range maps thanks to Spider's gadget and her range buff. There's just hardly anything that can purely counter Charlie, and the nerf that she received was really pathetic. I thought they would have nerfed her health or just even her supercharge rate or something. Yeah, she's insane right now. Do not underestimate Charlie. She's always the go-to brawler. There's pretty much no counters to her. So now moving into the 3rd best brawler in the game right now, I went with Cordelius. So this might be a really hot take. I don't know what people are thinking about him right now, but he received a big damage buff, guys. Like, this is massive. I don't know why they buffed it so much. It's a 14% damage buff, an extra 200 damage on top of his combo shrooms star power, I think it's called, the one with the extra damage. And then on top of that, you think of the damage gear, you think of the hypercharge. Like, you can deal like 3k damage per shot, I believe, if all of these are combined, which is insane. And then you receive 2 secret buffs as well, because when brawlers get a damage buff, their supercharge rate can get buffed up a little bit, and so can a hypercharge rate. So his supercharge rate went from 7 hits to 6 hits, so small buff, and then his hypercharge rate went from 26 hits to 23. So these buffs all in all are going to make him such a terrifying brawler. And then when you've got to consider Cordelius, it's a very hypercharge based meta. So one of the best counters to hypercharge brawlers has always been Cordelius, because you can just pop that hypercharge brawler into the Shadow Realm and that's it. They've wasted their hypercharge. It can no longer team wipe because you've just isolated them in a 1 versus 1. And he's also great into throwers with his jump gadget. He's got a good amount of HP now because his HP got buffed in the last update. And just the pure damage he can put out is just insane. Completely and utterly insane. So I think he'll easily be an S tier brawler in the meta. May have overreacted, let's say in the top 3. I don't think personally, but he definitely is tier S in my opinion. So now jumping into the 2nd best brawler in the game right now, I went with Alumi. So I might be right with most things, but sometimes a little bit wrong. I thought, and I spoke about this on the stream, normally with range nerfs, guys, it does kill the brawler quite often, but I think the kind of unique case here with Alumi is that her range can still be unlimited, right? You can pop your axis on the floor, then you can move back where you have better range. I think the biggest problem with Alumi, like, by the way, she received 2 nerfs. A 1-second nerf to her cooldown with her ice gadget, which is going to do nothing, and then they removed the damage with the ice gadget, again going to do nothing, because fundamentally there's a couple of reasons why Lumi's so broken. The first is her recall damage. Her recall damage is insane. You think of how fast, say if a Mortis catches your lacking or just another brawler like that, most of the time you would think they should be able to counter Alumi, but no, the amount of damage she can put out so quickly is insane. So she can just shred through people up close so fast. And then, like, she's so versatile. Her gadget still is fundamentally broken. The ice one, it's just such free control. It's just so annoying to deal with. And again, like, the pros are still playing her a lot. I still thought, like, on the longer range maps, you can't really go Lumi as much, but still, just because you can pretty much play her in hot zone, brawl ball, gem grab, so many situations, she's good into everything. It's like, yeah, I've got to put her in top 5 still. Okay, I was wrong about that. I thought the range nerf would have killed her, but she's still proven to be one of the best brawlers in the game. So now jumping into the best brawler in the game right now, I'm going to go with Kaze. So Kaze received 1 nerf to her hypercharge rate, which I believe it takes like a couple more hits. I'm trying to look at here. I think it's from 1.8 supers to 2.2 supers to get your hypercharge, which is just nothing when you think about it. It's with Kaze, there's just so much to like about her, and I kind of feel bad. Well, a lot of community was so torn on whether she's good or bad in the game, and it just took like probably the longest that Brawler's ever taken to really settle in the meta, but once she settled, she easily was like a top 10 Brawler in the game, and then they buffed her health on top of that, so I'm unsure why they did that, and there's so much to like about her geisha form, her fan form, whatever you want to call it. She's just able to create so much pressure because the unload speed is literally instant, and she has a very fast reload speed, so you're able to just take up space on the map, and taking up space on the map will just win your games through pressure alone, because people can't push you, because you can easily switch into your ninja form, and you can burst them down so incredibly quickly. And then on top of that, you've got two really good supers. I definitely underestimate the Fanstorm super, because it's hard to really know how strong it is when you're just using Kaze and just throwing it out, because you see the benefits when you're kind of facing off, if that makes sense. Like when you face off against like Kaze, Sandstorm, Fanstorm, whatever you want to call it, you realize just how annoying it is. You literally can't see anything. You literally don't even know where your shots are going. It's kind of insane how strong this is. So it automatically gets you pressure, because you've got to fall out of that or else you're dead. You have no idea where anyone is. So a really good super there. And then of course you've got her ninja super, which is just absolutely insane. How quickly you can just dash through people, and just on top of this, the hypercharge is just insane. It just deals so much damage. Like you can just kill a full HP tank. You just dash through them, a quick few bursts of ammo, and they're dead. It's just hilarious how quickly they just pop. And then on top of that, if you want to just spam through her gadgets, you just have unlimited buffs, like whether it's the invisibility that you get, whether it's the healing, whether it's the dash, whether it's the additional movement speed. There's just so much to like about the constant buffs she gets with her gadget, changing between forms. Yeah, I mean, we're probably dumb to presume in a way that Kaze was going to be weak. A lot of people thought Kaze was weak, but how could she be weak when she's just got so much about her? She was obviously going to be strong, right? Yeah, hindsight is quite hilarious. But anyways, that's going to be the best 15 Brawlers in the game. I'm probably going to do a rank guide tomorrow or Friday, but just let me know down in the comment section below what you want to see, and I'll bring it to you guys. So that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.